Welcome back everybody, here in a new video. Today guys, I'm gonna show you, as always, a part of my journey, which is choosing the pairs for the next week guys, because my strategy involves looking at the markets on the Sundays to then take the trades during the week. So let's start this video by showing you guys my pairs, which the first pair for the next week is CAD JPY, which is my favorite one. So let's start off the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame, as you guys are definitely seeing, is bullish. I count this point here as the lower low, a higher low, and this point here as the higher high. Last week we closed like a big bullish engulfing, which I like it because a big bullish engulfing means that price is heading to the upside, it has bullish momentum. Then look what I drew here. So I drew a zone of resistance, support, resistance, 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 and hopefully we're gonna use this zone here the next week as a resistance. So since the last week closed like a big bullish engulfing on the weekly, I will look for buys, and also because the daily time frame is bullish as well, with this one being the higher low and this one being the higher high. So the same zone that I drew on the weekly, it's even cleaner on the daily time frame because it has some cleaner touches, such as this one here, using it as a support, and then it had a big push, so it's also a zone of supply. Here used as a resistance, zone of demand, to then go to the downside. So as you guys are probably seeing, what I will wait for this one here to do is to have a further pullback to this one here, wait from some rejection to show me that price is rejecting this one here, is rejecting the 50 EMA on the daily time frame, to then take the buy to the upside. I believe it's an easy trade. The daily 4-hour time frame looks clean. Look how nice this zone is. So very nice. We also have, guys, a round psychological level right here, a round psychological level 107.500, which is like the order block for you guys that you call it like that. I call it round psychological level because it's a psychological zone where banks and big institutions buy and sell. So yeah guys, this is my analysis on CAD JPY. So the further pullback to this area of interest here, then I will wait for some momentum on the 4-hour to show me some rejection, and then 1 hour or 30 minutes time frame to see the shift of structure. So when the price goes from being bearish like it was here to then being bullish, to then enter the buy and head to the upside. So the next week I will wait for something similar like that on CAD JPY. So this was my first pair, and guys, one thing that I really like, as I said before, is this big bullish engulfing candlestick on the weekly time frame, because whenever we had a big bullish engulfing like this one, we head to the upside. Whenever we had a big bullish engulfing, we head to the upside. A big bullish engulfing, we head to the upside. Big bullish engulfing, we head to the upside. So on and so forth. So it means the price is heading to the up. Now guys, I'm gonna show you my second pair for next week, which is Euro USD. Euro USD, I had it even the last week. I called it perfectly, guys, because if you go and watch the video from last week, I called this market perfectly, but really perfectly. Called it to the T, but I didn't enter, unfortunately. So I will make an update video on that maybe soon. So I will film it today and it will come out maybe this week or Saturday, yeah, maybe or Wednesday or Friday. So we will see. So guys, let's start with the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame is bullish, even though it looks like it's bearish. It's bullish. I count it bullish, with this one being the higher low, higher high. Last week closed like a very nice bearish engulfing candlestick. What I drew here is a zone of support, kinda resistance, support, and now what are we waiting for? To use it as a resistance. So a weak candlestick pulling back to that area of interest to then head to the downside like this. This is my goal for the next week. The daily time frame is very bearish. The same area of interest that I had on that weekly time frame, it's even nicer here on the daily time frame. Look what a nice resistance it is. Look at what a nice support it is. Daily reverse, daily head and shoulders. This is the left shoulder head and the right shoulder pattern. So the daily we go and retest this neckline here. Even maybe it can stop at this zone here. So I will see the next week if it does make sense or not. The 4-hour time frame right now it's bearish, but it will turn bullish if it goes up there. So that would be a not nice confluence. So I will wait for the 4-hour to also shift its structure. So as I said, it can even stop at this one here because it's a daily and 4-hour area of interest. So look at these zones here. So maybe it goes up there and then it shorts to the downside. So we will see, guys, the next week what it brings us, because the markets always move differently, and even if I have a prediction, maybe the market cannot do that thing. But last week I predicted this big move to the downside perfectly, so I believe that next week it will do so as well. Then guys, I have USD JPY. USD JPY, if you guys are paid attention before, you can see that looks like CAD JPY. So the weekly time frame, I have a better area of interest on the weekly here rather than the area of interest that I have on CAD JPY. So on USD JPY, last week closed like a nice big bullish engulfing. As I said before, bullish engulfing, we continue heading to the upside. Bullish engulfing, we continue heading to the upside. Bullish engulfing, we continue heading to the upside, and so on, so forth. You already understood how this works. We closed above this nice area of interest with resistance, support, resistance, and resistance. So I will wait for it to be used as a resistance, as a support this week. Daily time frame looks very clean. We had a big push to the upside. If I take my fib, which is something that I never do, we have this area of interest, which is the golden zone, which is also another confluence. So if you want to add your fib to your trade setups, you can, because look at this zone here, is the golden zone between the 50% and the 61.8%. So it's actually a very nice zone of a pullback to then head to the upside. So this is another confluence that we can add to our checklist. For our time frame, right now it's bearish because it goes to the downside. I will wait for the complete pullback to this area of interest here. Look for momentum to buy on the 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hour, and the 4 hour to see some rejections from here to then take the buy to the upside. I will target daily high, so this on here, but if I gotta be conservative, a 1 to 3 would be very ideal, because it would bring me in profit for this month, because in the month of October my goal is to make a 1 to 3 risk reward by risking 5% on the live account, so to make 1,500 euros, which is very doable. Last week I could make even more money, but I missed 2 of the trades, but I will tell you all that, guys, on the video that will come out soon. So yeah, I will wait for the pullback to this area of interest here to then look for momentum to then buy to the upside. Very nice trade probability and trade setup, because guys, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is how trending markets work. So let me take and do an example. So here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so on and so forth. So trending markets move in higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. So here we're waiting for the higher low to then continue and buying the higher high. So that was USD JPY, similar to CAD JPY, very high probability trade setups, and those with the weekly closing like that, with the weekly area of interest, with the weekly previous structure point, and with the round psychological level, all time frames in sync, are the best trade setups to take, because guys, they have the major confluences in favor. Then guys, I have GU, which is another pair that I missed the last week, and this one here, guys, trust me, has a very high probability, even more than Euro USD. So the weekly time frame is bearish, lower high and lower low. Last week closed like a bearish engulfing candlestick. I like it because bearish engulfing we head to the downside, bearish engulfing we didn't head to the downside here. You understood already because they very move to the downside, but with some other conferences it does. So I have this area of interest here on the weekly with one resistance, resistance if you want to count it, but there are weeks, so I always count the bodies. Resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, and we're gonna wait for it to be used as a resistance. And the same area of interest looks even cleaner on the daily. Support, 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 and I'm gonna wait for it to get used as a resistance. Resistance, very nice demand zone because it had a big push to the downside. Very, very nice zone. So actually this one here goes in my top 3 pairs for the next week because it has a nice area of interest. The 4-hour time frame right now it's bullish, but what I really like, another thing, is that when price will go to this area of interest on the weekly and the daily, the 4-hour time frame will retest the EMA, and as you guys see, the EMA sometimes it's used as a support, as a resistance, as a resistance, as a resistance, as a support, and so on and so forth. So for this one here, I will wait for the pullback to this one here, maybe a daily candlestick closure up there to then look for the sell, to then take this trade to the downside. So actually, let me write that waiting, for daily candlestick pullback to the AOE plus daily candlestick closure at area of interest, because it means that price, if the daily time frame goes up there and it slows down, so it does something like, let me show, it does something like this. Actually, let me reverse it to help you guys better. So if it goes to something like this, if it does something like this, so it slows down a little bit, it means the price will head to the upside, to the downside, sorry. So I will wait for some slowing down to then look for entries on this one here as well. I will target the maybe the daily zone, so a 1 to 2.5, which is optimal, which is some good money. You don't need more than a 1 to 2.5 a week because I believe it's optimal as well. So that was GU, and now let's see my last pair for these markets here, and then I'm gonna show you something different because guys, I like it very much. So USD CHF, the weekly time frame is at the almost the lowest point ever when we have been here in 2011. I was 4 years old when price has been at this low here. It looks like we are creating a zone of a support down here because looks 1, 2, 3, 4. Price struggles to go under this zone here, and if it does, it goes back up. So it's a zone of support that it created in the last months. The daily time frame is right now bullish, and what do I see here? I see a very, very nice reversal pattern, which is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So this is the head and shoulders pattern, which happens on the bearish market, so when it's something like this, and happens also on the bullish markets, which is something like this. So it's actually a very, very high probability reversal pattern. It has a nice confluence. It's a nice confluence in my strategy because it means the price is reversing. It created this neckline here. It's a nice zone of support, resistance, resistance, and hopefully support. The weekly time for last week goes like a bullish engulfing candlestick. So what I will wait for this one here to do is for the 4 hour to change its structure, so from being bearish to being bullish, to then take this trade to the upside. Very, very, very nice and clean trade opportunity. Look how clean this thing here looks. So it looks very, very nice. So those were the pairs where it's okay to risk your money in. And then I have something called counter trend trade. So guys, I'm very, very good at taking counter trend trades. So just look at this NZD CAD trade here. So last week I called this one, where is it? Where is it? So let me take the 4 hour, let me remove this one here. So not last week, but I remember. Okay, so when was it? Okay, in September, 2 weeks ago, I called this move here, and it's everything filmed, guys. So go back 2 videos ago and you will see it, because I'm not inventing anything. So I called this counter trend trade here. So what did I say? I said that we had a big push to the downside, like we have on AUD chart, but I'm gonna show you later. We had a big push to the downside. We then came to a zone of support on the 4 hour time frame. After a big push, you always expect something called a pullback, which is this thing here, a pullback to then continue heading to the downside. So my analysis was, since we had a big push to the downside, I'm gonna expect the pullback. So we are at the zone of support, which means that whenever price is here, it adds to the upside, and then we have a zone of resistance up there. So what I said price will go down here, will reject, will retest once again, will go to this area of interest here to then take the short to the downside. Literally, I predicted this one here, and I predicted this one here as well. So guys, I predicted both of these moves, and it's all filmed. You can go and watch 2 videos ago, and I predicted this thing here to perfection. So AUD CHF, it has a bigger push than NZD CAD. Look where we are, guys. The 4 hour time frame, it's at a zone of support. So what I'm gonna wait for this one here to do is actually come here during Asia session, before London session tomorrow, so Monday. I will simply wait to take this buy to the upside and target a 1 to 2. I don't need more on these trades because there are counter trend trades. So look at the daily, big bearish engulfing candlestick, support zone, wait for the buy to the upside. So these guys, I believe it's an easy trade, and it's actually free money. So I will risk not 500 euros, so not 5% on this one here on the live. I will risk 1%, so $100, and target a 1 to 2 to make $200, and then watch for my other pairs to take a $500 trade to close this month in profit. So my goal for this month, guys, as you guys understood, is to make a 1 to 3 risk to reward, so 15% on the live account by risking 5%. It's very, very doable. I made a blueprint for myself where if I am in track with every single month making a 1 to 2 at least, I will be a millionaire in the next 3 years. So hopefully I will listen to this video in 3 years, and hopefully I was right. So guys, that were my pairs. This is the counter trend. Then I have these ones here that actually make very, very much sense to take. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, expect a new video this upcoming week. That was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Join my Telegram channel, because there I will send live updates. Thank you guys. See you this week.